Greetings. Welcome to whatever time and space you're in. I'm here in a early winter rain deluge in what is actually the mid-afternoon. It feels like the evening. I'm here to offer a little bit of guidance for practice. This practice particularly, we're here, at least in the time I'm recording this, during the full moon in November, and full moon times traditionally are times to do more resting, but also more back bending often in certain lineages, etc. We do more opening of the front seam of the body, etc. We do this to be able to express ourselves, to be able to take in what we need and offload what we don't. So remember that the practice itself is a physical gesture as opposed to being an exercise, as it were, something you're trying to achieve or get to. We're mindful in what we do, and that's why there's so much physical instruction, often so much conversation about how and why. But I just want to offer that this work can be vulnerable. It's one of the reasons I personally am interested in it. It gives me the ability to rework my body, right, to allow myself to remove patterns of trauma, etc., so on. So I urge you to use this tool in that way. You don't need to force or jam or do anything. It doesn't feel good, and move in just at the degree that feels right and good for you. It doesn't have to always be super deep to be effective. I am here in a yurt on a farm where it's raining. There's lots of sounds. You might see or hear my dogs in the space, etc., while I record. This is just a real life offering. This is the space I have to offer from. So I apologize for any distractions, and I hope also that it allows you to feel whole in your practice and your distractions too. That things come up. We're all just being human beings. All right. I'm going to head back to my mat to get started. Put my dog on the bed. There we go. Take a moment to get centered and settled. You're welcome to sit up on something. You might also choose to come to a child's pose instead. I'll start off with a little bit of context, a little bit of thought about this sort of lunar quality of opening the front seam of the body. In backward bending, we strengthen what is behind. We allow ourselves to carry, as it were, our experiences. And so, as you allow yourself to do this bit of opening, really even pragmatically, you might consider what kind of stability, what kind of sort of promises you have to make yourself to allow vulnerability to be open and real. And how do you uphold that faith in yourself, that faith in your ability to create the circumstances that make the most sense for you? I'm going to try to speak up a little bit so you can hear me crackling fire and the roaring storm. I like to begin the gestural practice by uniting with a few rounds, 3 rounds of Om. Om is a secular chant acknowledging the interconnection between all things. If for any reason Oming or chanting isn't for you, feel free to sit with us in presence instead. You might close your eyes or look down at one spot. If you tend to hold your shoulders, you might release them simply by imagining that string pulling you up to the back of the top of the crown of your head, rooting downward through what you're sitting on. We make the sound of the universe to acknowledge this broad context that we're practicing being in context, being in the here and now, in the universe that we exist in broad range of experiences of which we have sometimes what seems to be a singular perspective on. We share with our population, with our species, with our lineage. We share with those we agree with and those we oppose. And we allow that perspective to be part of this practice, non-dualism as part of the perspective of action. To clear and prepare the energetic channel of your body, take an inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Inhale, prepare for Om. Begin to breathe in the ujjayi form. which means upward, liberating, or victorious breath. Classically, in and out through your nose, but you're welcome to HA through your mouth whenever you like. You breathe in a different way. Try to let the breath be something that you're working at over time, many decades perhaps of training your breath to respond to you in a relaxed way, controlling the breath without being controlling with your breath. Maybe allowing the breath to have its own sense of control that you follow and pay attention to. Ujjayi is a second nature breath, which means you'll have to decide to do it, breathing in and out through your nose. You might hear that snore as the air whirls through your sinuses and down the back of your throat, and vice versa. Sometimes they talk about this hug at the base of your throat. For me, it almost feels like an opening instead of a closing action. But you might feel that snoring sensation depending on your experience. In your next couple of breaths, if your eyes were closed, flutter them open. Come to a hands and knees position, a tabletop shape. And draw your shoulders over your wrists. You might decide to stack yourself in a seat in a different way. And we'll do some cow-cat breathing as we often do at the beginning. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly and ribs, lift your chin and tail. Exhale to cat, tuck your chin around your spine. Inhale, cow. And exhaling. And then follow your breath through these two actions. Inhale to a neutral spine. Exhale to draw your navel in, up and back. A little bit of Uddiyana Bandha, the navel seal, the powerful seal. Inhale to take your right leg long and back. Try to keep your leg in line with your body relatively, as opposed to lifting it up higher or rolling your right hip up and open. On your exhale, point your toes, and we'll just start to take little circles. So inhaling up into the left and exhaling down into the right. It doesn't really matter which direction you make your little circle. You might imagine it being 3 to 5 inches in diameter. We'll go the other way in a moment. Make sure you're breathing. Go ahead and switch. Doing a little bit of gluteal and hamstring strengthening, really just waking up that area of the body. Strength and support required to open the front seam. Bend your right knee and flex your foot. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, squeeze your glute and lift your leg up. So instead of focusing on lifting your thigh super high, imagine you're trying to kick up through your heel. Take an inhale. Squeeze your heel up and exhale. Let it drop. Or you could try it the other way. Inhale to have your knee level. And use the exhale to lift it up. Inhale to settle it. Exhale to lift it. You're going to take another inhale this time. Just squeeze your right glute and lift your right heel up. And exhale, squeeze your right knee in toward your chest, round your spine, and push the earth away with your hands. Keeping your knee bent, inhale, squeeze your right heel up. You might pull your heart forward and up like cow pose. And exhale, round in. Good, one more time. Inhale to draw it up. Exhale to curl. You might be able to curl your toe under and put your foot down. You might have to step your foot forward. We're coming into a lunging shape. So start to send your hips forward and down. If your right heel lifts, scoot your right foot more forward. You always curl your back toes under, and always fold your mat over if your left knee feels tender on the ground. Climb up onto your right knee thigh and inhale to reach your left arm up. Exhale by exhale, side body bend over to the right. And inhale to come up through center. Take both arms up. On your exhale, cactus your arms to backward bend. This is mostly in your upper chest. Bend your elbows, pull your shoulder blades down your back. And inhale your arms up, reaching up. And exhale to release. Bring your hands to the earth. You could tent to fingertips, but also climb your hands up onto blocks, framing your front foot if you like. Inhale, cow lunge. Drop your back knee. I've curled my toes and lifted my knee if that wasn't clear. And exhale, cat lunge, straightening your front leg to some degree. Again, inhale, cow lunging, and exhale, cat lunging. You're also welcome to do this with your back knee down, coming more into these half splitting actions like this. Sometimes we need to move a little slower or faster than's being dictated by instruction, and that's totally welcome. Next time you're in the long, low lunging position, pause. Plant your hands and step or scooch your right foot back. Take an inhale in the plank position. On your exhale, let your knees drop. You can widen your knees to bend your elbows in and lower your chest and chin towards or onto the earth. Now, if it gets down there, you might rest. Sometimes this feels a little bit pancakey, like you're being flapjacked over. You're always welcome to put a prop underneath to catch, or to tuck your chin a little bit if it becomes too much in the back of your neck. We're going to go to Cobra by pressing back with our hands. So inhale, drag your body forward into Bhujangasana. Peel your heart forward as your shoulders come down and back. And exhale, bring your chin or forehead down. Let's do that again. Inhale, Bhujangasana, peel up. Exhale to lower your upper body down one more time. Follow your breathing in length and timing. Curl your toes. Inhale through plank on the knees. Exhale to tabletop by walking your hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale, cow pose. You might curl your toes under. Exhale, cat, round your spine. Inhale, cow. Exhale to cat. One more time, follow your breath. Inhale to a neutral spine. And exhale to reach your left leg back and long behind you. Now notice, a lot of us will tilt over. You might think about spinning your inner left thigh in and up, but as you do this, we're also not trying to drop the hip down. So both hips equally buoyant. The more you press down through the leg on the earth, the more you might feel that straight uplift without rotation. Point your left toes, inhale, and begin to make circles. Breathe as you go, those little 3 to 5 inch circles. And make about 1 on a long inhale and 1 on a long exhale. As you do, see if you can keep your knee pretty straight and reach through your foot, either through the point of your foot, point your foot, flex your toes like you're wearing a stilt or a high heel. Switch the direction of your tiny circle. Breathing. Sometimes this can be all of a sudden like a lot of sensation, burning your muscle, etc. It's a little bit intentional. Bend your left knee and flex your ankle. Take an inhale to lift and exhale to drop to neutral. And try it that way a couple of times. Inhale, squeeze a really little movement. Exhale to drop to neutral. Make sure your hand's still strong on the ground. Always do this with forearms down if your wrists tire. Good. Take an inhale to lift it up and exhale. And try it the other way. Take an inhale where you are and exhale to squeeze, kick up through your heel. Inhale where you are and exhale to squeeze it up. Inhale where you are. Exhale to squeeze it up. Take an inhale, keep it up. Exhale, left knee to the chest. Round your spine, push the earth away. And always do your best. If you find ground along the way, you might pause there. Inhale to send it back. Flex your ankle, squeeze your left glute, your butt cheek, and exhale, draw it round and in. One more time, inhaling. And exhale to pull your left knee in. Try to step your foot to the ground and grab it, scooch it forward. You might curl your back toes and scooch your back leg back a little. And always fold your mat over, create padding. Use your front leg to climb up. If you wish, you can do a lot of this low or up on blocks if you prefer. Inhale to reach your right arm up and exhale, side body bend over to the left. Good. Inhale to pull up through center. Take both arms up overhead and exhale, Cactus your arms to back bend. Bend your elbows. Pull your shoulders down. Stay strong in your lower body. Inhale your arms up. Reaching up, and exhale, hands to the earth to frame your front foot. Curl your back toes. Lift your knee. Inhale, cow lunge. Dip your back knee. Exhale, cat. And remember, you can do this in the oppositional way for sure. With the back knee down. I suppose it's not oppositional, it's just a different different choice. You can do it with oppositional breath, right? That's often, very dictated. I have opinions and thoughts, but I think mostly it's best you discover through your own exploration. Now it's important to remember that what seems normative to us, we've gained adaptation through experience too. Just because we are used to it doesn't mean it is the kindest way. Curl your back toes under. Take an inhale. Step back to plank pose, upward push-up position. Exhale, knees to the mat. Stick your butt up like cow pose, chest to the mat, chin to the mat. Inhale, pull yourself forward, bhujangasana. And exhale to bring your upper body down. We're going to do a little bit of Cobra. I'm going to turn a bit to face you. You'll keep your legs out long. I'm just doing it for shape. Take your arms out to the side. And you'll tent up to your fingertips on the ground. Again, you can just keep your legs long. Feel free to widen your legs out to engage your inner thighs together. If you do experience a lot of lower back pain, sometimes squeezing a block between your thighs and these things can be interesting. Cobra. Inhale, spin your elbows forward and up. Lift your chest up. It doesn't have to go super far. Exhale, twist. Bring your left shoulder towards your right fingertips. Look over your right shoulder. Inhale, back through center. Go as high as you wish. Be kind with your lower back. Exhale, twist your right shoulder to your left fingertips. Inhale, back up. Exhale, go to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, go to the left. And follow your breath. And the next time you're up in center, take an inhale and exhale to roll yourself slowly back down to the earth. And then you'll slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under, plug your knees down. Inhale up through plank on the knees. And your exhales, you might send your tail towards your heels. And we're going to inhale to lift our hips up into downward dog, straightening your knees. You can move it around a little. Down dog isn't for everyone. There's a couple of videos with options of ways to do down dog. Likely you have your own methods. It's not a super comfortable pose for most people. It takes like multiple decades, I think, for it to be even kind of casual. So don't worry if it's a little awkward for you. Inhale up onto your tippy toes and exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, spin your tail up and press your armpits back. Exhale, drive your heels low. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, tail up, armpits back. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, tippy toes, and exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, step or lightly float your feet up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart straight out, and bend your knees as you need to. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale to halfway lift, unroll your heart. And exhale, folding. One more time. With your own breath. Heavy your heels, hang your head, and take at least 3 rounds of breath to slowly roll your spine up to standing. And when your head is last to lift, you might take a few exhales to roll your shoulders and your back. I'm going to do some sun salutations with options to add things to give us a little bit more space. Remember, a standing back bend is not necessarily for everybody. Always think more about going up and down, more about what you need to support opening the front of your body than how far back you go. Stand in Samasthitihi. You can have feet together, feet hips distance. You're welcome to close your eyes. Take a moment to notice the equilibrium of your feet. We've borne weight on the hands now and on the feet now in lunges, not so much in this standing human position. Can you settle down into gravity? Can you notice that barometric pressure of air coming in and out? Are you still breathing in the ujjayi form? Remember, the postures, the practice itself is not particularly special, but the fact that you are doing it is particularly special. The magic lies in your intention and your attention to what you're doing. Your next inhale, flutter your eyes open if they were closed. Your next exhale to tune into what's around you. Slowly at first, Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale your arms out, forward or up. You keep your hands shoulder distance, turning your palms and pinkies in, or you could reach up and press your palms. If your shoulders and collarbones allow, you're welcome to look up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips to dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank. Chaturanga to the earth. Bend your elbows in and back to lower all the way down, or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, Bhujangasana, tops of your feet down, roll your heart up. Exhale, bring your chin or forehead down and curl your toes. Inhale through plank or plank on the knees. And to sweep your tail up and back, and exhale into downward dog. Take a big free inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Again, inhale in through your nose, fill your back lungs and ribs. Open mouth, exhale. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Inhale to your tippy toes and exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, gaze forward, plant your hands, and exhale, step or float to the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift, a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms out, forward or up to reach up. Maybe gaze up. Exhale, Samasthitihi, arms come down. We'll add a little. Inhale your arms up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and exhale, side body bend to the right. Press your pelvis over to the left. Inhale back up through center and exhale, side bend to the left. Pull in your right wrist with your left hand. Press your pelvis to the right. Breathing, of course. Inhale to come back up through center. Exhale, cactus arm backward bend. Bend your elbows. Drop your heart up and your head back. Inhale your arms up. Plug your heels down. Draw your navel back. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Step back. Plank pose. Chaturanga to the earth. Good. This time, take your right arm straight out to the right and inhale, roll onto the right side of your body. You might take your left foot back and hang your head. We won't be here quite as long as we often are. You might choose a different placement for your hand, less up by your nose and more down by your right hip. Exhale to roll back into the front seam of your body. Inhale, Cobra, peel your heart up. Exhale to bring your upper body down. We'll switch sides. Stick your left arm out to the left and roll to the left. And drop your foot back. Hang your head. If you were to see me from a bird's eye view, you would see my left arm out sort of at the angle of a jet plane. Palm down. About at the height of my shoulder. Good. And release your right hand to the earth if you moved it and roll back onto your front seam. Cobra pose once more. Inhale, peel your heart forward and up. Exhale to bring your chin or forehead down and curl your toes. Inhale through plank or plank on the knees. Take your tail up and back. Exhale to downward facing dog pose. Inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Inhale to your tippy toes and exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, look forward if you gotta. Use the exhale to step or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up pose, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching upward as you press your heels down. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, side body bend to the right. Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale back through center. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus your arms to backward bend. Squeeze your butt, tuck your tail, and bring weight into your heels as you press your hips forward. Good. Inhale your arms up, reaching upward. Urdhva Hastasana. Draw your navel back. As you exhale to forward fold, stick out your tail. Bend your knees as you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back. Last time, chaturanga all the way to the earth. Take your hands behind you and interweave your fingers at your tail. If that does not work out, for which it doesn't for a lot of very strong-shouldered folks, grab something. Hold like a sock or a t-shirt between your two hands, that'll do. Inhale to lift your heart up by sending your knuckles straight back as you pull your hands away from one another isometrically. Press the tops of your feet down like you do in Cobra. You can look up if your neck allows, or drop your head, drop your chin. Take one more inhale. And exhale, slowly lower down, release your hands, curl your toes. Inhale through plank or plank on the knees. Still inhaling to lift your tail up and back. Exhale into downward facing dog pose. Inhale through your nose. Ujjayi, exhale through your nose. Again, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale, bend your knees, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Take a big free inhale. Exhale, step or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. All right, we'll add to this mix squats, lunges, all sorts of things. Remember to continue to breathe. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, side body bend to the right, press your hips left. Inhale up through center and exhale, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sink your hips. You can take your arms forward or up, overhead, stick your tail out, draw your navel in and back. Inhale to stand up. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Inhale back up through center and exhale, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Rock your weight back, your knees back towards the space over your heels. Good. Take another big free inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step your left foot back. All 10 toes face forward. Inhale to high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Come high up on the ball of your back foot so you can exhale to settle into your front heel. Same idea with the hands always, right? If your shoulders feel better with your hand-shoulder distance, just assume that that's always best. Go to town. Drop your right hip and heel down, even as you lift your left hip up and press forward. Take an inhale to reach up and exhale, cactus your arms to backward bend, or your shoulders down your back. Inhale your arms up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale like cow lunge. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. You might lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward dog, or choose cobra from your belly. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. One-footed dog. Inhale, take your left leg up and back. Reach straight back. Exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. You might squeeze your heel towards your tail actively. Inhale, straighten and reach through your left leg. Exhale, knee to nose to step your left foot forward. Always grab it and assist it up. All right. Drop your right knee to the earth. We're going to do something a little bit unusual. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left leg. Now for this to work out, you got to take your left leg and press it inward towards your shoulder or your arm. You can be up on a block for sure and be as high up as you'd like to be. We're going to make sure that there's enough distance between the front and back knee that you can bend your back knee with your foot off the ground. All right, so having said that, bend your back knee and lift your foot off the ground. Now, especially if you already have a t-shirt around, you can lasso it around your foot if you wish. You might reach back for your foot and try to lean forward and down inside your front leg. Right hand around your right foot. Good. If this works out super easily for you, you can also try, which, it might, resting your body on your left leg and reaching back with both hands for your right foot. Or widening your left foot and coming down on the inside edge. All right, whatever you chose, take an exhale to let it go. Curl your back right toes under, spin your right heel down to the earth like warrior two, and inhale, open your arms up to do just that. Reach through your fingertips, settle through your heels. Flip your left palm up, inhale, reach forward, up and back to reverse your warrior. Try to stay low in your left hip and strong in your back right heel strike. And exhale your hands to the earth. Spin your right heel up, inhale, look forward. Exhale with one or many steps, bring your right foot up to meet your left and hang in forward fold. Good, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse dive. Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. If it feels good, press your hips forward and reach back. And exhale to bring it back to center. Samasthiti. All right, let's do it all again. The other side. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, bend to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, bend to the left. Strong legs. Inhale through center. This time, exhale, Utkatasana. Bend your knees and sink your hips. Stick your tail out. This is a backward bend. Puff your chest out. You can always do it with wide feet and knees if you need it. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, cactus your arms to back bend in your Utkatasana. Just the arms. Inhale, stretch them up. Exhale, cactus your arms to backward bend. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, stand up. Reach up, maybe reach back. Exhale, forward fold. Dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Soften your left knee and step your right foot way back. Long lunge. Rise up. High lunge, crescent lunge, Asana. Bring your arms to frame your face. Come high on the ball of your back right heel so you can settle. Notice how active both legs are, just doing oppositional things. Drive your right hip forward. From the ground under your left heel, drive your left hip back. Good. Take an inhale to reach up. And once again, exhale, cactus the arms to back bend. You can always reach back without cactusing if it feels good for you and kind enough in your lower back. Inhale your arms up, reaching up. Good, exhale, hands down to frame your left foot. Inhale, cow lunge, sink your back hip and knee, pull your heart forward and up. Exhale, step back, chaturanga, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward dog or an alternative. Exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose, ujjayi pranayama. Exhale through your nose, ujjayi. Inhale, lift your right leg, one-footed dog pose. Exhale, scorpion your dog, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach your right leg back and long. Exhale, think knee to chest as you step. Your right foot forward, grab it and pull it up. Bring your right arm on the inside of your right leg and drop your back knee down. Now from here, I'm also turning my hip around a little bit. Be careful with your knees. Sometimes all that turning the skin can catch on a sticky mat, etc. Take your time to move it around. Try not to be quick, even if it seems reasonable. Lean your weight forward and bend your back knee. You can also come up on your front knee thigh to do this work, or up on a block, or grab around your foot a little bit of a towel or a t-shirt. Pardon me while I keep the fire going in my household. All right. And again, you're reaching for your foot. You might come forward and down inside of your foot. You might lay your body on your right leg and reach for your foot or your pant leg behind you. You might come down on the inside edge. I think I did this with my hand back here. However you came into it, release your back foot, curl your left toes, spin your left heel down, and inhale into Warrior Two. Spread your arms out. Now, often people are taught to sort of tuck their tails and all these things. Classically, actually, I believe we stick our tails out and draw our bellies in. Gather the floor of your pelvis up. Drop your shoulders down. You can always flip your palms up or bend your elbows. Those actions give you space. Let's reverse the warrior. Inhale, take your right arm out, up, and back. Stay low in the lunge of your front heel and hip to provide distance and stability. Exhale, two hands to the earth. Spin your back heel up. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding. Inhale all the way up to standing. Urdhva Hastasana, reach up, maybe reach back. And exhale. Samastitihi. All right, we're going to keep going. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, Utkatasana. This time, sweep your arms back, palms down, pinkies into the center. Inhale, stand up, and reach back, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, rock your weight back, sweep your arms back. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach up, reach back. Exhale, Utkatasana. Sit low enough as you breathe in this Utkatasana that you feel the undersides of your hamstrings and hips working. Sit far back enough that you have to pull your heart forward, the crown of your head up to counteract the weight of your body. Take a big free inhale. Arms might reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back. Good. Inhale to rise, high lunge, crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus arm, backward bend. Inhale, twist to the right. Yeah, you might keep your elbows right as they are. You could exhale and take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. You might reach your right hand back to the outside of your left leg. You could also take your arms straight out to turn from center. You could inhale back up through high lunge, crescent lunge. And exhale, slow as you can, lower your back knee to the earth. That's kind of a pickle unto itself. And untuck your toes. Walk your right foot out to the right. Left hand down on the earth or block. Inhale, twist to the right. Take your right arm up. This is a different way of twisting. Open socket action. So you might let your hips hang. Make sure you're still stable in your front heel. You're not overexerting into the places that already give you space. You're asking for expansion where you can. All right, release your back leg. Curl your toes under. Inhale, you can go through Kapihasana. We did a little bit of that recently in class. On your way back to plank pose. Exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale, ujjayi through your nose. Exhale, ujjayi through your nose. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Good. Spin your back heel down and inhale into warrior two. You get out, up, and open. We'll exhale into side angle pose. So you can bring your elbow onto your knee, take your right arm straight up or over. And also bring your arm inside or outside of your leg. Draw your navel back. Find your strong heels on the ground. Use an inhale to reach back into the reverse warrior, sometimes called peaceful warrior. And exhale your hands to the earth. Spin your back heel up, gaze forward, inhale. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach up, maybe reach back as you press your hips forward. Exhale, Samasthiti, find neutral standing. Good, inhale, your arms up. Exhale, side body bend to the right. Inhale through the center. Exhale, side body bend to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, and as you do, cactus your arms into that backward bending. Keep your hips low. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step your right foot back. Inhale, high lunge, crescent lunge, asana. Exhale, cactus your arms to backward bend. You can inhale your arms straight up. Exhale, cactus. Keep them cactused. Inhale, twist to the left. So it could be a back bend. You might think about what it would be like to tilt while you twist. Still want to think about what you're pressing down, your pelvis, your lower body, to create dynamicism up and back. Again, you might utilize touch to aid in twisting. Feel out where your edges are. Be kind with those edges. Good. Inhale back up through high lunge, crescent lunge. And exhale, hands to the earth. In fact, walk your left foot out. Drop your back knee down, right hand down. Inhale, twist to the left. You might bend your back knee and grab your foot. It's not required. For a couple years, I had a knee injury, and doing this kind of thing really aggravated it. And I just want to say that, not being able to do something, you're not missing out on something. Not like collectibles we're trying to put in a glass jar somewhere, Do the thing you're doing. Honor that part of your journey, part of your actual experience on this planet in this lifetime. And that human suit you're wearing. Good. Exhale to release, two hands to the earth inside your left foot. Curl your right toes. You might squeeze your left knee into your shoulder. Tilt your body weight forward on your way back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Step your left foot back and lower. Inhale, upward dog or an alternative. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale through your nose. Ujjayi, exhale through your nose. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, step through. And spin your back heel down to the earth. And inhale to rise up into warrior two. As you settle into the shape again, reach through your arms. See if you can find that spaciousness for yourself. Move forward and down into side angle shape. So you might bring your elbow to your knee or your hand to the earth, inside or outside. And take your left arm up or over. The angle is from the crown of your head or your heart all the way down through your back heel, and that's the same axis that you're spinning on. Notice if your knee wants to spin in with you as you turn to the left. Spin it in the opposite direction. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Reach out, up, and back. Lengthen through the right side of your body. Good. Exhale, hands to the earth. Spin your back heel up. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step forward and fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding. Good. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach up, maybe reaching back. Strong glutes. Plug your heels down. Anchor your hamstrings. Exhale to Samasthiti. Nice. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana all the way to the ground. Come up into Sphinx Pose in your forearms. Now, right away, if it's a lot in your lower back, you could take your arms wider to the sides or further forward and see how my rib cage lowered down. You might also discern that folding up a cushion underneath your armpits feels good, etc. You know, you could also put a little towel underneath your hips, and that'll give you sometimes a lift up as well. That's not quite so high. If you'd like, and look over your right shoulder. Bend your right knee, squeeze your toes to your tail for Bakasana. Maybe bring your left hand to your right elbow, and take your right hand around behind. Grab for your foot. I'm going to do a half bow pulling pose here. So you might hold your foot from the inside edge and kick back here. You might hold your foot from the outside edge with your thumb pointed down and kick back here. You might turn back forward so you're not rolling to the left and putting too much more pressure in your left lower back. Kick down into the top of your right foot. Now from here, you might also send your left hand forward and lift yourself up. You might find at a certain point that then even kicking, your knee starts to try to lift up off the ground. Take another big free inhale. And on your exhale, slowly release it. Let's come back to Sphinx Pose. If your lower back feels tight, bend your knees and drop your hips from side to side. Sticking my butt up in the air to be able to do this. All right. Just every once in a while it seems impossible, and I'm like, oh, don't worry. Just do that thing you think is rude. As you lift your heart nice and tall, we'll try the half frog on the other side. Look to the left, bend your left knee, squeeze your toes to your tail. You can bring your right hand to where your left elbow is if you wish, and reach back for your foot. You might bend your elbow. Some of you have a practice of doing this. It's good to know that your scapula, your shoulder blade bone, some of us have a subscapular scar tissue or connective tissue. It makes it really hard to turn the joint in this way. So if you meet that point, try not to push there. Let that be a little bit true for your shoulders. And then we're going to head to the half bow. So you might just extend through your foot. If you're using a strap or something, this is another good time to wrap it around your foot. Ain't no shame in how long your arms or legs are. You could also turn your wrist around if you did on the other side and begin to kick back. Turn your heart forward. Breathe. And again, if it served you on the other side, you might press into your hand. Give yourself some height. And slowly, we'll come back to Sphinx Pose. Good. Take a big free inhale. And on your exhale, bring your upper body down. We'll do a full round of bow pulling pose. You could always do Sphinx or Cobra or half of the bow pulling pose as we just did on each side. For the whole kit and caboodle, come down and bend your knees. Grab a hold of the outside edges of your feet. You can do it holding the inside edge. It's just different. Exhale the air you have, and then your inhale, kick into your hands. You're going to try to roll forward onto the soft part of your belly as you kick up. You might use your upper back muscles to lift your heart and look up. Breathe forward and up. Maybe you can do it without your knees touching the ground. Exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana. Curl your toes, tuck your tail, draw your navel in as you pop up off the ground, or try to, just a couple inches. Inhale to upward dog. Pull your heart through. Lift your upper body up. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Take an inhale in through your nose. Exhale out through your nose. Another inhale through your nose. And exhale out. Inhale high in your tippy toes and exhale, bend your knees to the earth. We're going to stretch out through the quads. So I want to give you options. I'm going to try the double-legged variety. I'm bringing my feet apart and sitting my hips between my heels. Now, always be straightforward. I have probably 15, 20 years of practice doing this kind of thing. And so maybe it's easier because my quads are stretchier and I've been doing it. It's also probably just genetic, right? Some of us have stretchier quads, be able to sit in this position. Some of us won't feel comfortable at all. And if for you it's quite tight, you could take a prop and sit up on it. There's no need for your knees to just be pressurized. We are trying to stretch the quads. Another thing that you could do is come at this from a low lunge, right? You could come with your right leg forward and take your hips to the inside of your left heel. You might still end up on a block underneath your right hip. And you just switch sides halfway through. Right? If you're down on your hips and your both legs are folded, or if you're down maybe only one knee folded, you could come back onto your elbows, forearms, come all the way back onto your back if you wish, and tuck your tail. Take your arms up overhead if you like. It's okay if your knees lift a little or your hips lift off the ground a little after a while, as long as there's no pain. Notice if you're clenching your glutes. Be here for a few more breaths. In fact, if you are doing things on one side, you might just allow yourself to stay on that one side. We're going to come into lunging all together. So if you're down with both knees folded, try to drag your head and lead with your heart as you flash dance your way back up. And then bring your hands forward, your weight forward into your hands, and step your right foot forward. It's okay to do whatever leg happens to be forward if you're doing it that way. All right. Now, you can see how this is like a little itty-bitty shorty lunge, a little different than the long lunge we did, so a little more like you're like proposing marriage in the 80s in like the Olive Garden or something, my made-up 80s movie that we're in. We're going to do a back bend from here in this slightly shorter stance. And one of the things this can help us do is drag and drive back through our front leg, and also kind of grab the ground with the skin on the top of that back. See how I'm kind of shifting? And squeeze the two things towards one another. There's twisting and asymmetry that's happening here too. So we'll think about finding pelvic neutrality. All right, you can either do this with your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, press your hips forward as you hang your head back, perhaps. If it feels good, you could take your arms up, cactus arm back bend, or reach straight back with your arms. Good. Inhale to roll yourself up. And exhale, tuck your chin, round your spine. Maybe you'll bring your forehead towards your right knee and your hands towards the earth, around your foot. Good. Inhale and roll your heart, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee. Exhale, step forward and hang in forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float back, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward dog or an alternative. Exhale, downward dog. And you can come forward onto your knees, or maybe you step your left foot forward. Sit back on the inside of your right knee this time. If you're working with props, remember the great gift of the video is if you want to, you can just pause it. You don't have to worry about the flow of anything. Or in general, try not to worry too much about that. Our arrangement of self always happens in the timing that it needs to happen. Particularly when you come into postures that are difficult or that you don't like, or maybe just that you don't understand, right? What's the point of this one? Just feel uncomfortable here. What's it even doing, etc. Like that kind of feeling. Take your time with it. Sometimes that means years. Doesn't mean you have to devote a lot of time to it. Sometimes it just takes time, takes living, experiencing for us to understand and put some of the pieces of our experience together. And again, you might flash dance your way back up. Come to the hands and step your left foot forward. We're in a little shorty stance, but you might choose wider from right to left. You might also have things a little turned in or out depending on your proclivities. But also curl the back toes or pad the back knee in a shape like this as well. You can take your hands to your hips again, considering those structural points. I'm dragging my heel and my back knee towards one another. Inhale to lift your heart and hang your head. Maybe you're cactusing your arms. Maybe you're reaching your arms up and back. Good. Inhale to pull yourself back up. Exhale, start by tucking your tail. We're going in the other direction a bit. Round your spine. Bring your forehead towards your knee. Take an inhale through your nose, ujjayi pranayama, into your low back. And an exhale. Lift your chin, curl your back toes, lift your back knee, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward and fold. If you'd like, you can interweave your fingers behind you, grab for a towel or t-shirt, drop your hands forward and down. And slowly inhaling your thumbs to your tail, and exhale, release your arms to hang. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees on the exhale. Inhale, spin your tail up and back, and exhale, slowly lower your knees to your mat. I'm going to do some camel posturing. I'm going to use a block. And a lot of times we see the block squeezed up here in between the inner thighs, which can be really helpful if you're having trouble accessing the floor of your pelvis and letting your glutes really squeeze for you. And also try setting the block at a wider setting. I have mine at the mid setting there, but if you're blessed, nice little pelvis here, you might choose a wider stance. You can also just experiment with all of them and see what interests you. And squeezing between the knees will give me a little bit of structure since I tend to go wide. Going wide is also a way to work, especially if there's no pain and not to feel like you're doing it wrong if it feels right. Bring your hands onto your lower back, pinkies in, thumbs out. Inhale to lift your heart up, and exhale to hang your head back and press your pelvis forward. Now, if you're already doing this and think, whoa, this is like a lot for me, it's okay to try that other variety where we sit our hips on our heels, where we sit cross-legged with our hands behind and elbows wide. You can puff out your chest, drop your head back and your heart open. If you're up in the camel pose, you might have already reached for your heels, pinkies in, thumbs out, press your hips forward, lift your heart up and breathe. If you're in the camel pose and your hands are on your heels, bring your hands to your hips and drag your head as you did before. Slowly roll yourself up, leading with your heart. You could sit on a block or sit your hips on your heels. You're welcome to sit your hips between your heels. If you feel it's best for you to come to child's pose, do, but also consider if every time it's so extreme that you have to go all the way to the safest place, you may be asking yourself to go to too many extremes. You're not required to be vulnerable in that way. In whatever position you're in, you might drop your chin a little or close your eyes or gaze down at one spot. And you might stay here, offering for a second round of backward bending. Backward bending asks us to compress the blood vessels around the spine, shift our spinal fluid. It's normal to feel a lot. Slow entry and exit is recommended. Second round through, again, you might be utilizing a prop, giving it a go. Another interesting thing to do sometimes is to squeeze the prop between your feet or ankles. Inhale, your hands on your lower back. Lift your heart up, and exhale, press your hips forward and hang your head back. Remember not to lean back, but instead dynamically press the chest bone, your sternum up, squeeze your glutes and hamstrings, kick the tops of your feet down, and press your hips forward. Breathing for 3 more rounds. And slowly, hands on your hips to drag yourself up, lift your heart up. And again, sitting your hips on or between your heels or finding that position of respite for you. And slowly come forward to the tabletop position. I'm going to do one last strengthening bit. So you might inhale to cow and exhale to cat. Then cat, just hold the shape. Round your spine, draw your navel back. If you don't feel much, you might rock your weight more back. Press into the tops of your feet more, tuck your chin more. You still are looking for a little bit more action in the center of your body. Curl your toes, lift your knees an inch off the ground. And then you might shift your weight more forward into your hands and see what changes. So breathe for 5. Every time you exhale, draw your navel up and back, Uddiyana Bandha, gather the floor of your pelvis up, Mula Bandha. 4. 3. 2. 1. Lower your knees, cross your ankles, and sit down behind them. Take your legs out long in front of you for seated forward folding. You can pull the flesh back out from underneath you. You're welcome to reach up or reach for your feet. Inhale, unroll your heart. And exhale, folding. You can be active, kicking through your feet, pulling with your arms, or passive. You might choose to contract your quads. Give yourself strong legs to fold over. She'll let the bent knees create structure for you. Inhale, unroll your heart. And exhale, release to sit up. Baddha Konasana, bring the soles of your feet together, your knees wide. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, fold. As you fold down, you might let yourself passively round over your legs. You might be actively rounding, choosing a different route in that way. And slowly drag your head as you roll yourself up, and you can use your hands to draw your inner thighs towards one another. And roll down onto your back slowly, one bone at a time. And gather your knees into your chest and give them a squeeze. And we'll do some spinal twisting. I'm going to do it with the eagle legs. I'll wrap my right leg over my left. You can wrap once or twice. Drop your legs to the left, take your upper body to the right. Now your shoulder might pop up off the ground. You could put padding underneath it. Same thing, you might create a landing pad for your knees. They might not get to the ground at all. Do your best to try to relax your lower back. It's okay to turn your head like I am to the right. But you might feel a lot of pinching or congestion in your neck, the nerves there. You could just turn your head to the left instead. Good. Slowly come back to center. Rearrange your legs, unravel and re-ravel. Whew. At least once. Right? The party trick. Drop your legs over to the right side. Take your left arm to the left. You can always choose a different twist. You can keep your legs stacked, knees bent. Some people like to work with their legs straight. Maybe just the left knee is folded and the bottom right leg is straight along the ground. Come back through center and unravel your legs. Gather your knees in. Give yourself a squeeze. If you feel you need one last back bend, you're welcome to take Matsyasana fish. Take your legs out long or fold them in lotus if you prefer. And bring your elbows behind you, lift your heart up and hang your head back. You're welcome to use a block or prop between your shoulder blades. If your neck feels okay hanging your head back into space or tapping the ground, that's chill. But also take the classic variation. Your arms out, your palms up. Drop your head back. Breathe. And slowly release. You might lift up through center to come down. If you need to hug your knees into your chest again, please feel free to. Some of us will need one vinyasa or, 20 sit-ups or to roll to one side. We're heading to rest, so if you know you'd like to lay on your belly, on your side instead of your back, or you prefer to do a seated meditation for resting, feel free to roll up and sit up. You might discern that it's best for you to go to an object or some furniture and get cozy there. We'll rest for just a few minutes, and I'll call you up and out when it's time to return to action. As you take your time into rest, if you're still doing finishing postures, know that that's totally welcome. Go ahead and do your finishing work, whether they be poses I mentioned or not. Maybe there's nothing else to do and you're already settled or settling. You might close your eyes or look at one spot that isn't moving too much in your purvey. You might get out any last fidgets or fixes to your clothes and your accoutrements, scratch all the itches, all that stuff. Set your hands somewhere in relative neutral where you might not draw too much unneeded attention or direction. If you're like me and you have protective tendencies in your body, like rounding your shoulders, dropping your heart, you might take this time to let true neutral exist. You might let your shoulders relax and your heart feel open lying on your back. You might roll your shoulders down if you're sitting. Nothing extreme, more like letting the center of your chest bone lift, letting there be spaciousness there where you spent so much time opening already today. And with eyes closed or soft, let your breath die down to natural and voluntary breathing. No need to control the breath with ujjayi pranayama anymore. Even if at first it seems choppy or held. And I'll do just a gentle, focused, guided way of meditating, but feel free to tune me out and do your own thing, right? To go broad to your own practice of rejuvenation and integration, meditation, concentration. Begin by bringing your awareness to the points where your body makes contact with the ground. This might be your sitting bones, or the back of your pelvis, your sacrum. It might be the back or outsides of your legs. If you're lying on your back, it might be your shoulders and the back of your head. See if you can notice these places, like you notice divots in the ground when it rains and puddles fill them. You might notice in turn the negative spaces that architecturally, naturally spin and arch up and away from gravity in their own way. Little by slowly, millimeter by millimeter, you're going to take your awareness from what touches the ground slowly upward. Go slow and see if you can fill these areas of the body with sensation, right? As if you were made of cloth, you'd be examining fabric texture of each stitch. If you're lying on your back, you might allow yourself to do this from your feet up, just for easier organization. Follow to the pelvis. Notice the weight of your hips. You might feel sensation in the body like color filling you. Continue this process of awareness all the way up through your body, maybe through the front of your body or through the crown of your head. When you reach the top, go back to the base and begin again. Continue this practice until I ask you to change or ask you to stop. Wherever you are in your awareness practice, draw your awareness to your pelvis in whatever way feels most comfortable for you. Imagine the structure of your pelvis, perhaps feel the weight of the bones as they press into the ground or surface you rest on. See if you can let everything else about your pelvis be very soft. The ground is holding you, gravity has a relationship with your bones. There's nothing to hold on to. You might draw your awareness slowly up to your low belly and your low back. Space we worked on a lot today. See if you can let your belly soften and hang. You're sitting upright, you might imagine the weight of your hips allows for the spring of your spine upward. Your lower back becoming more buoyant and free so that the musculature around it can be soft. Now draw your awareness up to your solar plexus and your navel. This place of power and strength in the center of your body. You might notice already your breath, your diaphragm, connection between that strength of the belly and the openness of the heart, rising and falling naturally without mitigation. Pay attention to the 3 dimensions of your rib cage, your heart beating within, your lungs spreading and dropping. Your rib cage goes all the way up underneath your collarbones and your shoulder blades, all the way down to the top of your waist. Now bring your awareness up to the base of your throat where your 2 collarbones meet, clavicular notch. You might notice that while you pay attention to the base of your throat, you're also listening with your ears, the relationship between expressing, feeling, being able to hear and take in information. Now bring your awareness up to your hard palate, to the roof of your mouth. You might imagine this as the basement apartment below the breathing mechanism of your sinuses, nestled above your third eye, between your 2 eyebrows. And draw your awareness up to this space. Soften any tension in the mask of your face, temples, and your jaw. Now bring your awareness all the way up to the top of the crown of your head. And slowly, like water pouring, take your awareness from the top of your head and let it travel back down through your body completely. Let yourself feel fully and rest deeply. When the time comes to change, I'll call you up and out. Until then, practice paying attention to how things really are. Sahana vavatu, sahano bhunaktu, saha viryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vitvashavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. If you're lying in rest or seated in meditation and wish to remain as such, do as long as you'd like. The time has come to return. Go to your breath and ask it to very gently and just as much as is necessary rise to meet your awareness towards wakeful life. Slowly adding movement in your own way to your position of rest, and maybe slowly rejoining the karmic action of things by rolling to one side or gathering your knees into your chest. Take your own time and really do take the time to slowly draw back. Try not to scare away the peace, the sort of reintegrating and settling you've done for yourself during this time. No need to shake off rest. Thank you for being here, for sharing your practice with me. It's a traditional closing chant in the lineage of Krishnamacharya. It means as a group of people learning together, may we be protected. May we know joy and peace. May our work for the liberation of all beings be brilliant and illuminated. May our work seek to contribute to this happiness and liberation of all beings everywhere, outside of this context of universality, non-dualism, and peace. Take a moment to practice gratitude, as in to keep perspective. You do this work, you live in a body, in a lifetime, on a planet, in an ecosystem, in a universe where it's possible for you to cultivate awareness and to pay attention to how things really are, right? To use the light of your own awareness to gain truth and perspective, and hopefully to spread peace, love, to limit violence and suffering. That's the idea. Again, my name is Alyssa. If you have questions, it's always okay to reach out. There's usually information about how to find me just clicks away. Thank you always for tolerating my real life and situation and being here with all of my animals and everything that goes on. I appreciate you. I hope that some kind of light shines on your face, shines from within you soon. Hopefully we'll see each other again soon. Thank you.